Hello children, welcome to our new session, and this session is going to continue the concepts of Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. The Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers are the drainage systems of India. In the last session, in the last video, we saw about the Himalayan rivers, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. So in this session, we are going to see about the peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers means rivers which flow in the southern region or rivers of South India. They are not called as peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers is a part of Indian drainage system or Indian river system. Peninsular rivers. The rivers in South India are called the peninsular rivers. That means rivers which flow or which stretches in the South India are called as peninsular rivers. Most of these rivers originate from the Western Ghats. So I think so, as you all know, where is Western Ghats? Western Ghats in the starts from the Ran of Kutch in Gujarat and it ends in the Kanyakumari in the Tamil Nadu. That is the western side of the border of ranges. It's known as the Western Ghats. So these are seasonal rivers, non-perennial. So the Himalayan rivers, the entire river system of India has been divided into two. First one is Himalayan rivers, second one is peninsular rivers. So the Himalayan rivers are perennial in nature. Perennial means they flow throughout the year. There is no breakthrough or discontinuity in the flowing in the throughout the year. But when it comes to the peninsular rivers, they are non-perennial. They are non-perennial means they will have a discontinuity. Sometimes it may flow for 3 months and after 1 month or 2 month gap, it will start its flowing because of due to rainy season starts in the different southern part of the states. So that's why they are non-perennial rivers. They have a large seasonal fluctuation in volume of water as they are solely fed by the rain. So the peninsular rivers or southern rivers are non-perennial because they are mainly depend on the rainy systems of Indian climates and weather. They mainly the perennial rivers and South Indian rivers, they depend upon the based on rain which India gets during the rainy seasons, especially in the southern part of the India. So that's why they are non-perennial and they have a discontinuity in the flowing. These rivers flow in valleys with steep gradients. So gradients means they flow in the uneven surfaces in a deep, shallow, lowlands, highlands. It will have its steep and slope in the uneven surface. That is known as gradients. Based on the direction of flow, the peninsular rivers are divided into west flowing and east flowing rivers. So based on the direction of the peninsular rivers or South Indian rivers, how they are flowing from west to east or east to west, they are divided into two different types of river system. First one is west flowing, which flows from Gujarat to eastern side. That is known as west flowing rivers. Rivers which from east to west they flow, they are known as east flowing rivers. First we will see the west flowing rivers. So this is the two different types of Indian drainage system or river system. First one is Himalayan river system. Next one is Peninsular river system. Himalayan rivers are which originates or which flows from the starts origination or starts in the begins in the Jammu and Kashmir in the Himalayas, and it's three different names of Himalayan rivers are Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra are the three Himalayan rivers. Peninsular rivers. Peninsular river means rivers which flow in the southern part of the India. They are known as peninsular rivers. So rivers which flow in the southern are Narmada, Tapti, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Mahanadi. These are the peninsular rivers. So among the peninsular rivers, how they are divided means rivers which flow from west to east and east to west. So these are known as rivers which flow from west to east, known as west flowing rivers. Rivers which flow from east to west, known as east flowing rivers. So now we will see the which are the rivers which flows from west to east and rivers which flow from east to west. East flowing rivers. East flowing rivers. The river Mahanadi originates near Sighawa in Raipur district of Chhattisgarh. So the river Mahanadi, it's here, which starts from Chhattisgarh and flows through Odisha. So the river Mahanadi starts its origination and it stretches or extends towards the Odisha, and it is having a covering of distance or extension is around 851 kilometer. So it's a Mahanadi as its tributaries. They are Sionat, Telen, Sandur, Ib are the major tributaries of Mahanadi. So get a Indian empty river map and find or write or find out the Mahanadi and its river tributaries. This is assignment and homework. The main stream of Mahanadi gets divided into several distributaries such as Paika, Viruba, Chitratala, Jankuti and Nan. So these are the different divisions of distributaries of Mahanadi get divided into some other streams and other states. So all these distributaries form the delta of Mahanadi. So Mahanadi and its distributaries form the delta of Mahanadi delta. So delta means rivers which creates a land above the river surface. So above the river water surface, they create a land area that is known as delta of Mahanadi. Delta of Mahanadi, which is one of the largest deltas in India, and it gets empties. Empties means it flow into the Bay of Bengal. This is a Bay of Bengal. So Mahanadi starts in Chhattisgarh and enters into Odisha and some other parts of the states, and it's having and creating a Mahanadi delta, and finally which enters into the or empties. It becomes empty in Bay of Bengal after joining the Bay of Bengal Ocean. So the next river is Godavari. So Godavari is a longest river with an area of, so among the peninsular rivers or South Indian rivers, river Godavari is the longest river, having the stretch of 1465 kilometers, and it's covering an area of 3.13 lakh square kilometers. Among the other South Indian rivers or peninsular rivers, it is also Godavari is also river Godavari is also called as a Vriddha Ganga. So the river Godavari originates in the Maharashtra, a portion of Western Ghats. So it originates in the Maharashtra here. See, this is the Godavari, and it originates in Maharashtra district of Nashik and some parts of the Western Ghats, this region. It flows through the states of Telangana, Andhra, and before joining the Bay of Bengal. So it originates in the Maharashtra, and it also covers a portion of Western Ghats and flows through the Telangana, Andhra before it joining in the Bay of Bengal. So it flows this direction and touches and extends towards the Andhra, Telangana, and finally it flows into the Bay of Bengal. Purna, Penganga, Pranita, Indravati, Tal and Salami are its major tributaries. So these are the major tributaries of Godavari. So have a map, get a blank map and mark the tributaries of Godavari. Assignment number 2. The river near Rajamundri gets divided into two channels called Vasistha and Gautami and forms one of the largest deltas in India. So the river Godavari enters into Rajamundri in the Andhra and forms one of the largest deltas. And deltas means it's a land area which is in a triangular shape created by the disconnection of the rivers, and it creates a land surface above the river water level, that is known as delta, river delta. So that is this Godavari river and its tributaries create a largest deltas in India. Kolleru, a freshwater lake, is located in deltoid region of Godavari. So there is a lake which has been created by the Godavari. It is known as a freshwater lake. Freshwater lake means which is not in the form of saltiness, without saltiness. That is known as freshwater lake. It is found in the Godavari deltoid region. So now we'll move to the next river. So next river system of peninsular rivers or South Indian rivers is, we saw the east flowing rivers. Now still we have two east flowing rivers to finish the east flowing rivers. Krishna, see this river Krishna, it's here. The river Krishna originates from a spring at a place called Mahabaleshwar in the Western Ghats of Maharashtra. So in the Maharashtra, the river Krishna, it starts its origination in the Western Ghats, and it has a length or the distance of 1,400 kilometers, and it covers the area of 2.58 lakh square kilometers. So it originates in the Mahabaleshwar in Western Ghats of Maharashtra, and it's covering a land area of 2.58 lakh square kilometers, and it's covering the distance of 1,400 kilometers. And Krishna, it is the second longest peninsular river or second South Indian river. So Bhima, Peduaga, Musi, Koina, Tungabhadra are the major tributaries of this river. So mark this as assignment. Get a fresh map or blank map and mark these tributaries and the river Krishna in a map. Assignment number 3. So it also flows through the Andhra Pradesh and joins in Bay of Bengal at Amsala Devi. So the river Krishna originates in Mahabaleshwar in Western Ghats of Maharashtra, and it has a few major tributaries and reaches Andhra Pradesh and joins in Bay of Bengal. And this direction it come and empties or enters into the Bay of Bengal. The last and final east flowing river is Kaveri. The river Kaveri originates at Talakaveri, Kodugu Hills of Karnataka. So the Kaveri river it originates in the Karnataka in Talakaveri, Kodugu Hills. In the Kodugu Kaveri, the river Kaveri which originates in the Talakaveri Kodugu Hills of Karnataka. So in the state of Karnataka there is a Talakaveri Kodugu Hills is there. From there the Kaveri river originates, and it's having a length of 800 kilometers. The river Kaveri is called Dakshin Ganga or Ganga of South Harangi. So in the southern part of India, the southern states, the river Kaveri is called as a Dakshin Ganga or the Ganga of South Harangi. Hemavati, Kabini, Bhavani, Arkavati, Noil, Amravati, these are the major tributaries or main tributaries of river Ganga, and mark these tributaries and river Ganga in a blank map. So in Karnataka, the river bifurcates means divides into two, bifurcates twice. So the river Kaveri in Karnataka twice or 2 times it get divides into two, forming a sacred islands of Srirangapatnam and Sivasamudram. So river Kaveri, it gets two times divided into two sacred or holy islands or holy plains in a Srirangapatnam and Sivasamudram. While entering the Tamil Nadu, the Kaveri continues through a series of twisted wild gorges until it reaches the Okanigal Falls, flows through straight, narrow gorge near Salem. So the river Kaveri reaches Tamil Nadu and it creates a different twist and uneven distributions in the Tamil Nadu, and it creates a different entries and exits in the different parts of Tamil Nadu and other states, and it finally reaches into the Okanigal Falls. So the river which or water you enjoy in the Okanigal Falls is a river Kaveri and reaches near Salem. The Kaveri breaks at Srirangam Island with two channels, river Kularan and Kaveri. So river Kaveri breaks again into two divisions in Srirangam Island, that is river Kularan and Kaveri. At last it empties into the Bay of Bengal at Pumbugar. So the finally river Kaveri gets empty or blank into the Pumbugar in Tamil Nadu and enters into the Bay of Bengal. So with this the east flowing river system gets ended, and now we'll move into the west flowing rivers. So wait for a minute, we will have only a one slide. With this the geography first lesson ends. Just be patient and listen the videos. Don't skip or don't move out or don't stop watching the videos. Please try to watch the video fully. This is the last concept of the first lesson of geography. The west flowing rivers, we saw the peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers of India has been divided into two rivers, west flowing and east flowing. So the west flowing rivers are two rivers. West flowing, this is a very important exam point of view. They will ask what are the rivers or which are the rivers which will flow west to east and east to west. So these are the two NT. Narmada and Tapti are the west flowing rivers. The river rises in Amarkantak Plateau in Madhya Pradesh. So the river Narmada, which originates or which rises in the Amarkantak Plateau in Madhya Pradesh, and with the height of 1057 meters and flows the distance or it stretches or extends the distance of 1312 kilometers, and it covers a land area of 98,796 square kilometers and forms the estuary before falling out into the Arabian Sea. So from this direction to it falls into or empties into the Arabian Sea. Here the Arabian Sea. This side is from the Arabian Sea. This is the Bay of Bengal. So rivers which flow from west flowing rivers which will definitely will get empty into the Arabian Sea. Rivers which flow into the east will definitely empty into the Bay of Bengal. So the Narmada river, it is the largest among the west flowing peninsular rivers of India. So among these two, Narmada is the largest river and it has a principal tributaries: Barnar, Halon, Eran, Banjar, Dudhi, Shakar, Tava, Barna, Kolar. These are the major and principal tributaries of west flowing rivers. Have a river map and find all these tributaries and main important rivers. So now we move into the last and final west flowing rivers and river systems of India. Tapati is one of the major rivers of peninsular India. So the Tapti is one of the South Indian river or peninsular river of India with the length of, so the Tapti river having a 724 kilometers of extension and stretches, and it covers the land area or it occupies the land area of 65,145 square kilometers. So Tapti rises in the near Multa in Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. So Tapti river which originates or which rises in the Madhya Pradesh state and it originates from or it rises in the district of Betul. and it is having the height of 752 meters from the surface. So it is the only the three rivers in the peninsular India that run from east to west. Others being Narmada and Mahi. So the west flowing rivers are Narmada, Tapti and Mahi are the west flowing rivers. So its major tributaries of Tapti are Vaki, Gomai, Arnavadi, Aner, Nesu, Burai, Banjara and Bori are the major and principal tributaries of Tapti river. So mark all its tributaries and west flowing rivers in a black map. Assignment number 4. So exam point of view, this is very important, these two things. So finally it outfalls or empties into the Arabian Sea or Gulf of Gambia. So with this the river system and completely ends. Now we are moving to the characteristics of South Indian rivers. So there is a, do you know or on a fact about the rivers? In which river the Jarasabo or Jog Fall is found? So river or Jog Fall in Sharavati river, Jog Fall or Jarasapa Fall is found in Karnataka. So important characteristics of South Indian rivers is, so it originates from the Western Ghats and it's a very short and narrow. So South Indian or peninsular rivers of India, they are very short and they are not that much broad and width. They are very narrow and they are very shorter. And they are non-perennial in nature. Non-perennial means they have a discontinuity. They will not flow continuously. Suitable for hydropower generation. So the perennial rivers are South Indian rivers. They are most suitable for power generation and electricity generation. And also they are not useful for navigation. So the South Indian rivers are peninsular rivers of India. They are not useful for navigation and transportation of any sea river things or whatever. If you want mobilize from place to place or river to river, it is not possible in the South Indian rivers or peninsular rivers of India. So with this the geography first class 10 ends. So homework and assignment again I will give it in the question markings and answers will be given the post in the different video. So with this session ends. We'll see the remaining in the next video.